Well, hey, this is E.B. Tolbert with Nemesis Comics, and today I'm going to be doing a quick hand tutorial. I started to sketch out a hand, and then I realized my camera wasn't on all the way, so I erased. Started back at the beginning. Ha ha. So, the first thing you need to decide when you're drawing a hand is what kind of hand, like what kind of person is this attached to. So, we're going to do just a normal hand, and then we'll go into the different types of hands after we do that. So I start off by drawing the center part of the hand. I'm going to refer to it as the palm from now on just to keep it more succinct. So I'm just going to say this is the palm. Determine your shape depending on what kind of angle your hand is at. Let's do a kind of, Roman statue kind of hand right now. So just determine what shape this inside or this central portion of the hand is. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then your thumb is always going to be an outlier, so it's going to be out here by itself. Now these guys, I usually take them on as a singular unit, at least in the initial stages of the drawing. And if it helps, take a picture of it. That way you're not looking like a goofy goober sitting there with your hand all craned up. Plus, it helps with the whole not moving thing. Because that's the benefit of pictures. They don't move. Here's something I usually do, and it has always worked out well for me. You may find something different, but I have a tendency to make the pointer finger and the pinky curl slightly inward. It seems to give it a more natural look. Maybe it's because it's what my pointer finger and pinky do. They just do what they pinky do. And see how I left it like a big web to begin with, but then I kind of articulated each part. And even though that's not exactly what my finger's doing, that slight curl inward, I don't know, it looks more natural to me, even more so than what the actual thing is. And so there's a basic hand. And you gotta remember that each one of these fingers is attached to another bone here. May not use that later on, but just be aware of it. That way you know where your knuckles fall. Because remember, the finger bone, at least the first digit, actually attaches way back up in here, inside of the fist. So that it gives it kind of a designation. And the middle finger and the pointer finger have the most prominent knuckles, so those are usually the ones that you end up having to draw. The other ones kind of fade into the hand. And so that's a basic. So we'll kind of go into, I'm going to have a good strong outline. That way. That pinky is a touch large for my taste, so let's taper it down just a little bit. It's a great thing about being in this drawing stage is that you can do all your modification here, because you're not going to be able to do any of this once the inks are around. And remember, most of these fingernails aim up. Your pointer finger and your pinky somehow, not somehow, but they angle inward ever so slightly. And like I said, your thumb is an outlier. Its nail faces away. And remember also that fingernails are not flat. They have a curvature on them. Okay, so that's your normal kind of gnarly hand, you know, man hand. We're going to go down here and we're going to do the same position, but we're going to do kind of a dainty lady hand. Remember, everything needs to be sleek and thin. I mean, I know there's big burly women, but for the purpose of this tutorial, we're going to do a soft, thin hand. And the fingers are going to be thinner. What I do with female hands is basically I just follow the same format, I just thin everything out. And if it's too thick to begin with, just go back through. And the rule of thumb with drawing anything feminine is to use lighter lines, lighter shadows, and for the most part leave out any extra details that you may be normally putting. Just leave out those extra details, because any extra line you add is gonna make it look more masculine or older. And that's the same thing goes with children. Like, any extra line you put in there is gonna add age to it. And even though this hand is a little more masculine than I would even like for a lady hand, you know, if you fix that, you thin it out a little more. This pinky is a little too robust. Soft lady hand. See how it looks a lot softer than my big gnarled mitt that I have up here? Ooh, can't tell where I am. There. Right there. And you can go, like, you can push this even further for, like, say, Hulk hands. Push it in the other direction, I mean. Where you just overemphasize all these gnarly bits and just make everything thicker. Remember your pinky, not your pinky, your middle finger and your pointer finger are your big robust knuckles there. And everybody kind of understands that shorthand, those are the bigger knuckles. And remember, half of this bone here is inside the flesh here. So remember that when it moves, that it's going to move into the meat. Gross. You know what I'm saying. And the bigger the person, usually the bigger the hands, and the more kind of gnarly they are. Is gnarly a word? But it sounds good. I'm going to use it. Hey, Mom, you're looking gnarly. No, that's not nice. Don't tell that to your mom. Be sweet to your mom. And you'll get to the point where once you've been doing this for a while, you can just kind of make up hands. But even guys that have been doing it forever still have to look at references sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just remember, the more you can do out of your own head, the better, because that's going to make you faster. In comics, it's art on production, you know. You got to be fast. You have to be able to complete things in a timely manner. Because what's the point of doing something if you're not going to be able to ever finish it, you know? Like, I understand that some people do art for therapy, and that's fine if no one ever gets to see it, but as a comic book artist, you have to meet deadlines. You have to be able to show this to somebody. So, work hard, finish your stuff, make some great comics. You guys have a great day. Bye!